To make his wife jealous, the CEO deliberately kissed his lover, Morgana. What he didn't expect was that Louise, who had always loved him more than life itself, didn't get angry at all. She even laughed and chatted cheerfully beside them. It turned out that just 3 days earlier, the CEO had taken Louise to file for divorce for the 99th time. Having had enough, Louise decided not to beg him anymore. That night, she went home to pack her things, but she accidentally found the love letters he had once written to her. Only then did Louise realize that the CEO had always loved her. The reason he had kept treating her so coldly was simply because he enjoyed the feeling of being chased. Knowing the truth, Louise was completely disappointed. But while packing, she discovered that the only necklace her mother left her was missing. Meanwhile, the CEO was having fun with Morgana at a karaoke bar. His buddies were betting that Louise would come back to beg for reconciliation within a day. Louise happened to overhear them. She pushed the door open and walked in. The CEO thought she was there to apologize, but to his surprise, Louise said flatly she was there for her necklace. Morgana immediately interrupted, saying that the necklace had been given to her by the CEO, but she had accidentally lost it. Louise instantly questioned the CEO, asking how he could give her things to someone else. The CEO said carelessly, "It's just a necklace. He could buy 10 more for her if she wanted." Furious, Louise turned around and left, but just as she reached the door, a motorcycle came speeding toward her. The CEO instinctively wanted to save her, but didn't want Louise to notice he still cared, so he protected Morgana instead. Louise was hit and remained unconscious for 2 days. When she woke up, she asked the nurse who had brought her in. The nurse said it was the CEO who saved her. He had been so anxious he almost tore the hospital apart, but when he heard she was about to wake up, he hurriedly left. Louise sighed that his love for her could never see the light of day. On the day she was discharged, the CEO pretended to bump into Louise and said Morgana's house was under renovation, so she'd stay with them. Louise didn't care and went home with them anyway. But during dinner, Morgana suddenly had an allergic attack. She had bribed the housemaid to accuse Louise of adding peanuts out of jealousy, the very thing Morgana was allergic to. Louise angrily asked the maid who told her to say that. Hearing their argument, the CEO, without asking questions, ordered Louise to her room. Soon, it was Morgana's birthday. Louise didn't want to watch the two of them act lovey-dovey, so she walked out to the pond for some air. But Morgana secretly followed her. She taunted that even if she pushed Louise into the pond, the CEO still wouldn't spare her a glance. With that, she shoved Louise into the water. Louise, unable to swim, screamed for help. Hearing her, the CEO rushed over. Without hesitation, he jumped in after her. Morgana was too angry to speak. The CEO frantically performed CPR on Louise. When Louise woke up, he immediately put his cold face back on and scolded her for being clumsy even at a party. Louise directly exposed Morgana's evil act, saying she would call the police. To protect Morgana, his useful pawn, the CEO ordered the bodyguards to lock Louise in a confinement room. 3 days later, the CEO came to get her. Louise said she wouldn't pursue the matter anymore because she had already decided to leave him for good. That day, Louise attended a class reunion. Everyone knew she had chased the CEO for 3 years. They asked if she had finally won him over. Louise lied, saying she hadn't. But the next second, the CEO showed up, with Morgana at his side. After dinner, they started playing games. Morgana lost completely in the first round. As punishment, she was told to kiss a man at the table. The CEO kissed her without hesitation. Feeling sick, Louise went to the restroom. The CEO thought she was jealous. Morgana followed her, mocking her for never getting the CEO's love and warning her not to try reconciling again. Soon, they had been divorced for 20 days. Seeing that Louise still hadn't come to beg him, he deliberately came to her room to pick a fight. But Louise stood her ground. Frustrated, the CEO had someone accuse her of plagiarism. When Louise found out, she angrily called her professor and decided to move abroad once the divorce was finalized. Soon, it was the last day of the divorce cooling-off period. Louise packed her luggage to leave, but the CEO suddenly dragged her to the civil affairs office, intending to cancel the divorce. Their car soon arrived there. Louise was wondering how to get rid of him when Morgana called, whining sweetly. Feeling smug, the CEO left Louise behind and went to see Morgana. But he never imagined that this time, Louise didn't cancel the divorce. She went ahead and collected the divorce certificate. When she got home, she placed it on the table. Then, without hesitation, she boarded a plane. At that moment, the CEO suddenly felt a sharp pain in his heart.